So for context, I helped my dad run a small business in the engineering. It's a small engineering business. We are mainly in the oil and gas industry. We make removable insulation and removable pacifier protection, and they are used a lot in the oil and gas industry, be it onshore or offshore. I've been doing it since 2021. So here are 5 things that I wish I knew before diving into this small business. So the first thing is that sales is king. In a small business, you run a lean operation, you run a tight ship, and to keep things running, you need money, you need funding. I'm not talking about this is not a startup where you get like angel investments or things like that. But everything you do in the business, you need money. And how the money comes in? Sales. So sales is king. Now, if you're averse to sales, and this might be a problem for you, but that's just the way it is. You got to bring the money in, and then you can spend the money on things like infrastructure improvements, like improving the facility, getting an office, delivering the product or service better to your customers, things like that. So that's in terms of the money flowing in. But the skill of sales is also king, because everything you do, not only in running a small business, honestly, I would say even in life, is sales. Like, we talk about business, I need to bring money in, sales. I need to recruit the right people in. I need to not only vet them, but I need to kind of pitch my company. I need to sell the company to them, sell my vision. I'm talking to my team. I need to bring us to the right place where I want to go. I need to sell my vision. Everything in life is sales, especially so when running a small business. But the main point was sales is king, because sales is where the money comes in, and everything is downstream from sales. The second thing is speed. When there is something to be actioned on, it needs to be actioned on quick, because that is where your customers will be satisfied. In this day and age, everyone wants everything quick, So it's a small business, yes, and the only way you're going to stand out is by doing things fast. If you get something urgent, if you have something comes in and it needs to be actioned on, action on it quick. Don't delay. Don't say, oh, I'll do it later, No, do it now. If it takes less than 5 minutes to do it now. If it needs to be done by today, do it now. Especially when it comes to following up with customers, warm leads, whatever, do it now. Now, how do you know what is urgent, what is important, and what to action on first? So that comes to my next point, which is systems. Basically, you need to be organized. You need to be organized because you are going to do a lot of things. You are going to be putting out a lot of fires. You are going to need to put on a lot of hats, be it sales, be it management, be it job execution, be it logistics, be it any legal issues you might get into, marketing. You are going to wear lots of hats, and the only way you can move the needle in a meaningful way is to manage your time properly, to get yourself organized. That's one, get yourself organized, and 2, you also need to get your people organized. That comes back to the system. So 1 is a system for yourself, but 2 is a system for your people also. Systems like standard operating processes, SOPs. Because your ultimate goal is not to run the business. Your goal is to build a machine that runs the business. That's the ultimate goal. But before you reach that goal, before you reach the point where you have built the machine that runs the business, you need to do everything yourself. And this is my 4th point. I wish I knew that when you're running a small business, a lean operation, you have to do everything yourself from the start. That means sales to operations to logistics to project management. And I mentioned all these things before. I mentioned all this earlier. And in this day and age, people talk about work-life balance, like, oh, I need to have my work life, and then I need to have my outside work life. I don't always believe in that. I believe that there's a way that you can find life in work. Like, why does it have to be a separate thing, Of course, certain people have no threshold, but certain people have, different people have different thresholds, right? But that's one thing you have to know, which is you have to do everything yourself, because you are small. You are one man holding the ship together. I'm not saying I'm one man holding the ship together, but it sometimes does feel like that. So sales, operations, everything, even sometimes cleaning the toilet, taking out the trash, things like that. You have no choice, because if you don't do it, and you don't have people to do it, then who's going to do it? Responsibility comes back to you, right? Now, the last thing that I wish I knew before going into this small business is that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Now, I know earlier I talked about speed, but ultimately, what you want to be working towards is to stay in the market, to stay in business for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You don't want to look at like a 3-year horizon only. You need to plan for the future. You need to plan for those long term, if that's the goal that you're trying to build. I'm trying to build that for the company because I believe that we have that capability. I believe we can find the right people to gather us to the same direction. So that's the last thing I wish I knew, which was the foundation of a company is not just the product, but it's also the people. A company is built on the people because at the end of the day, the people run the things. So me as helping my dad, or me and my dad need to work to build a strong team with reliable people, because that's the only way that the company can have its own grounding, and that's the only way we can grow. Now, every once in a while, you get burnt, like people come and people go, and you get better at finding the right people. I'm not saying I'm very good at this, but you have to understand that it's a process of not only one, finding the right people, but also learning how to find the right people, how to develop the systems to find the right people. So going back to systems, right? So at the end of it, you improve, you evaluate and see how could I have done better to hire the right people, because the business is made of the people inside it, and you need to build the strong team that supports you, because you can't do everything alone. So yeah, that's the 5 things to recap. Number 1, sales is king. Number 2, speed. You need to action on things as quickly as you can. Number 3, systems, because systems are the foundation. If you have strong systems, anyone can run the business, and you can manage yourself with a strong system. 4th, you have to do everything yourself at the start, because if not you, then who? And 5th, and finally, is that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, which means putting the effort in to find the right people, to build a strong team who can support you. So those are 5 things that I wish I knew before starting, not starting, I didn't start this, but before going into this position of running a small business. I hope that this was helpful to someone. I think there's a lot more lessons here that can be learned, and these 5 is really simplifying things. I will try to share more in the future, but that's it for now. Yeah.